Yes.
Okay. So what his attorney said was that we don't have a basis. So I'm not as familiar with Santa Cruz, but Phoenix, there was a procedure mistake that they made. The FAA made a mistake, and so um, we had a basis, or Phoenix had a basis. But for understanding, in our case, there hasn't been any mistakes that the FAA made. And just to be clear, I for one also don't like the airplane noise. I think since I moved there, it's been a lot worse. So you're kind of preaching to the choir here. But the question is, what control does the city council have over this issue? And like I said, there's only really two: it's legal, if there's a basis, and then the second one is lobbying. Those are the only two. There's no direct control. There's no ordinance that the city council can pass. No other place should pass over our space. We cannot do that. We don't have the legal right to do that. Even the state of California doesn't. Only the federal government has the right to do that.
Somehow Santa Cruz found a way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And Santa Cruz was, let's see, the street words that come to mind, I guess are not appropriate. Santa Cruz was not interested in cooperating with Palo Alto. They told Palo Alto to go buzz off, and they did their own thing. They used strong words with the FAA. They used every tool that was around. They pushed Palo Alto out of the way. They pushed the traffic in our direction. Mm-hmm. And somehow they managed it. Yeah. And Santa Cruz is smaller than Palo Alto.
I would love to know, how do they do that? Because, for some reason, we've been working on this for 10 years or something. It's a long, long time. And we've gotten almost no results. So I don't know.
Have you thought of looking into it?
We've asked staff to look into it. Right? So staff has. I haven't personally looked into it, no. But one thing that I talked about at the meeting, I don't know if you remember, it was seeing if we could try to get a bit of lobbying firm for us. But I'm not necessarily an expert in this topic. Mainly because we don't have jurisdiction. Council itself does not have jurisdiction over this. The same thing with broadcasting, right? There's some things that are in the realm of federal government, right? Like the FAA or federal communications, immigration. There's a bunch of stuff like that the federal government has jurisdiction over, but the local government does not. But if you know
anything in life, there's a government that's looking over it, mm-hmm. and somehow it is possible to make points occasionally, and if there are matters that are important to the populace, things can be done.
Okay. Well,
and here there's Peter Kirsch, mm-hmm. Somehow having influence there. I was told that Peter Kirsch went along reluctantly with that case, that he himself had a poor view of likely success, but the local city authorities convinced him that they wanted to go ahead, and he did it and won. Mm-hmm. Have you spoken to Peter Kirsch?
I have not, no.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I haven't, and neither
has anybody on the council spoken to Peter Kirsch?
No. We're not allowed to contract directly with outside counsel. So the person that would have spoken to them is Molly Stump or someone on her staff. But to understand the way the government's organized in Palo Alto is the city council, Molly Stump, Jim Keene, the city attorney, and the city manager reporting to council. The council does not hire people directly. So no, I haven't, and no one on council would have either. In fact, we're not supposed to talk to vendors at all. So we would not have talking to him.
Yeah. I guess the case is hopeless. The council is simply dysfunctional and it's incoherent, you're not going to get any place. Nothing is going to be done until somebody takes action.
Well,
If you,
what,
if you
what do you,
don't, if you're not, if you're not willing to risk, you're not going to get. If you don't try, you're not going to get.
I am willing to risk, but what do we do?
Start by talking to Peter Kirsch.
Okay, I can't.
Hire him as an outside attorney.
That's definitely not something that. I tell you what. If you could convince Molly Stump that it's okay for council members to talk to outside attorney, then I think we will do it.
I don't think Molly
But-
Stump is doing anything.
Well, Molly Stump will not allow that. I mean, especially with an outside attorney, she will. She
Then you better
absolutely.
get rid of Molly Stump if you want.
Well, that's another
If you
story.
want any, if what you're telling me is correct,
She will.
then it's time for you to get rid of Molly Stump, or else you just give up on this and
Yeah.
let it happen.
Well, that's a different story, whether we should keep the city attorney or not. But in terms of engaging with an attorney on litigation on behalf of the city, Molly would absolutely not. I mean, I could be wrong here, but
There were
Molly,
two attorneys involved in that one.
well, I would say,
Kirsch wasn't the only one.
yeah,
There
it's
were-
John too, right? So, but I would say that both John and Peter, I think Molly would absolutely not think it's appropriate for council members to talk to outside attorney on litigation. I think she would.
And you hang on to Molly Stump, Sally Stump, you hang on to Molly
She's our-
Stump
she's
as
our-
your attorney under such conditions?
She's our city attorney.
Don't
So-
you think it's time to get rid of her if she puts such conditions on you?
That's possible, right? I would say
It's
that.
nice that something is possible.
Well, keeping her or firing her is something within the realm of control of the council. So we can absolutely do that. But in terms of,
Have you thought of action in that direction?
well, we have performance evaluations that we do at the end of every year. I don't know if you followed the performance evaluations or the raises that we gave last year. Did you follow that at all?
Sorry.
So we gave raises to Molly Stump and to Jim Keane, to the city manager and city attorney. I don't know if you followed that last year, like in November, December timeframe.
I think I have an impression that all city staff is very well paid.
Oh, they are. But there was only one council person who voted against the raise for Molly Stump. There's only one of the 9.
I'm sorry.
There was only one council member who voted against Molly Stump's raises. There's only one person that did it, of 9.
And you voted against it.
I was the only one. Okay, so you can read into what you want, because a lot of the stuff is a closed session, but obviously my colleagues thought she did a good job, right? So you I got to tell you something, Robert. You're preaching to the choir a little bit on this, right? And so like, I'm one of 9 votes, right? Whether we keep Molly or not keep Molly, also it's not within my full control because I'm one of 9 votes. You have to have 5 votes to get anything done, right? On the raise, I got totally outvoted, totally. It was an 8-1 vote.
We do have a dysfunctional council.
Well,
Greg?
Yeah.
5 minutes left.
yeah. So, but anyways, so if you want to change who our city attorney is, right, and her opinion on this kind of stuff, you got to get other council members on board. As simple as that. Because no one council member controls staff.
Yeah, I guess the council, I think, is occupied with other things and they don't want to bother with this issue.
Well, I would say that a lot of people on council, I would say, do care about this issue. I would say that's true. How we get there is a different story. I think there's not strong agreement on that. I think there's a strong reliance on staff in terms of the direction. Personally, I think that, and you might have heard me say this, is that I think I think that we should probably put a bigger effort on the lobbying aspect, on the political aspect, right? Because if Santa Cruz could do it, right, through their political efforts, I think we probably could as well. Just gonna let you know also this issue here, the airplane noise issue, is actually something that the Policy and Services Committee of the council deals with. And so I'm not actually on the Policy and Services Committee, but I would strongly encourage you to talk to the members on that Policy and Services because they do the kind of like deep dive work on this in terms of what we should do. They're the ones who made the recommendation at the council meeting. I'm not sure if you remember, but that's what I would say. That's what I would suggest, right? Is to probably start with that committee because they're the ones who have more direct control over this versus just the council as a whole. So what happens is the council divides up the council into smaller committees, and then each committee focuses on specific items. And this particular item, airplane noise, is a topic that the Policy and Services Committee is trying to figure out.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's see. You and what's your name? Lydia Kuhl.
Mm-hmm.
You're the only people on the council who indicated any interest in talking to me.
Well, I think Lydia. I don't think Lydia's on Policy and Services. So both her and myself are not on Policy and Services. So we.
Oh, she's on the committee?
No, she's not. So both. I think both Lydia and I are on finance. So we deal with like more of the budget numbers and stuff. The people you really have to talk to on this topic is like the chair of the Policy and Services is Adrian Fine. And so he would be a really, really good person to talk with about this topic because they're the ones kind of figuring out how to deal with this problem, right?
Pardon me, sir. There's 2 minutes left.
Okay. So have you had a chance to talk to Adrian? Have you had a chance to talk to Adrian?
No.
Okay.
I usually don't talk to people who don't indicate they want to talk to me.
Oh, okay. Well, I would try to reach out to him. He's actually, I think he cares about this topic as well. I think if you reached out to him and talk to him about, hey, I want to understand more what the Policy and Services is doing in this respect. I think he'd be willing to meet with you. But my personal feel on this is I think we should put more effort on the lobbying effort. I think that's probably because I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Santa Cruz happened through a political effort, or was it also a court case? Do you know?
Sorry?
Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
Did they get the results through a court case, or was it through lobbying?
Well, I didn't know.
Because the only court case I heard that was successful is this one.
They had some connection somewhere.
Yeah, so it's lobbying.
No
They call it lobbying. Yeah. So if it was a court case, then you get something like this, right? If it was a court case.
I don't think there was a court case in Santa Cruz.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. So it really happened through lobbying, right? So hiring the right lobbyist to get what you want, and that's something that's definitely within the realm of the city's purview.
Well,
the reason why I wanted to chat with you about this is you're like I said, you're preaching the choir on this in terms of, I think you and I align in terms of that this is a problem that we want to deal with. The question is how to do it, right? And either we have a city attorney who thinks that we should do it, or we hire better lobbyists. I think those are the two choices, right? That there are, right? And for hiring the lobbyist, it's something that the Policy and Services Committee would deal with. It's not like I don't have necessarily direct control of it because I'm not on the Policy and Services this year. But if you talk to the Adrian Fine, he might be able to help you on this.
Well, he hasn't been good. I wrote, I think, a very clear letter, which got sent to the entire council.
Yeah.
And You and Lydia are the only people who indicated any interest in talking to me about it.
Yeah, I understand. I think if you are persistent, in fact, all of our phone numbers are on the webpage. You can try calling Adrian directly. It might help.
Yeah.
But I do care about this issue, and I want to solve it too. It just question is how do you do it?
Well, I would have hoped that the city council would be interested, but I don't. My strong impression is that that's not what's currently on the minds of the city council. They
Well,
seem
it's
to
not-
have big real estate investment in mind.
Well, it's something on my mind, but yeah. Anyways, so I think as you heard at the council meeting, the thing that I think we should do is hire a better lobbyist.
That's how things seem to function in America. And
It's true. It's true, right? If you want to get things done, you got to lobby for it, right? And I think that we haven't. I mean, just by the results, it hasn't been very effective for us. At least with the current lobbyists that we have. Maybe we need better ones.
I think you're on the city council. I'm not. My only interest is getting some action on this issue.
I think the best course of action is better lobbyists. That's what I think. I think that's the easiest course of action.
And I don't understand what could be the possible objection of Molly Stump to another lawyer being consulted. It seems to be very common in legal procedures that two or more lawyers.
No, I don't think she's opposed to lawyers, but I think she would be very opposed for council members to engage with outside attorneys. She would be extremely opposed. Let's put it that way. She would be very opposed if I were to call
That's
up.
your business, not hers.
Maybe, but
She has no rights in that direction.
Well,
you're the council
you
members. You decide.
You could go talk to her about it, but she has on many cases.
She can quit if she doesn't like it.
Well, anyways, that's my experience has been that she does not wanting us to talk to outside vendors, and I think especially outside attorneys.
I mean, I don't understand why that should be any compelling reason for you. You have no concern at all about what she thinks. You decide, it's you who decides whether you get an outside attorney or not. She has no voice in that.
By the city charter, we only have the right to hire 4 people. Okay, city manager, city attorney, city auditor, and like Beth, right? Essentially, right? So there's only 4 direct hires that report into the council. Everyone else, we don't have the right to hire directly. So if we want to hire someone, it's got to be through one of the 4 people. By city charter, there's only 4 people that we actually control. It's not like the city of San Jose where the mayor has an operating control, right? Or city of New York, right?
Your next constituent here. We need to end this.
Okay. But so it's a different type. We have a strong city manager government, so it's different than other cities. It's not like the council doesn't have an operating role like it does in other cities. We're like a board of directors. We don't have direct operational control.
Yeah, I guess the hopes are not high. Okay.
But don't give up though. Okay. Well, thank you. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for talking. So,